Stuff your stocking with Packard Pokesat merchandise this holiday season. Give your honey a hoodie. Give your mama a mug of Christmas cheer. Let Packard Pokesat help you find that last-minute holiday gift. By shopping at cafepress.com/Packard Pokesat, you not only fill your holiday shopping list, you help support the show.
Do you like Packard Pokesat and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
This is Packard Pokesat, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokesat. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic. And joining me from the far west coast is Connie, Practical Magic 9.
I'm going to party for the next month and a half.
There you go. That's something to do.
Sounds good.
And joining us from the far, well, not super far, but to the south of me, is Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist.
That's me.
See, I got it right that time, Tom. Finally. It only took me, 10 shows? And joining us from the far east coast is Steve Shives.
Packard Sonic as I live and breathe.
I know, right? How can you not want to take this in?
Right? You look like a delicious ham sandwich.
Well, thank you. I am honored to be the ham sandwich.
With mustard.
If you're watching the live show, or you're watching this in archive, whenever you watch this, if you're wondering why the Packard logo looks all blurry, but it's not. It's actually a collage of all the shows that I've done, which is, this is the 400th show, and Chris has been nice enough to make a video picture out of all of this, out of all the shows.
Got to zoom in on it.
Yeah, you got to zoom in on it.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, it was an awesome job, Chris. Awesome job. By the way, I did say last week that this was going to be a short show. Well, we got done with the show last week, and it's like, by the way, this is going to be our 400th show next week. Oh, well, we can't have that for a short show. We got to have an Okay, Let's Talk. So that's what we're doing. We're doing an Okay, Let's Talk.
Yes.
Seeing it's our 400th show, we thought we were going to do something a little bit special. The title of our Okay, Let's Talk show this week is the Off-Topic Topic Show, the show that was 400. Because by the time you get done listening to this, the 400th show will be over with.
That's deep, Packard.
You need your hip waders now?
Yeah, well, for various reasons.
True. 400 shows, that's a shit ton of shows. I mean, there's a lot of shows out there that have done at least that many or more. I mean, and to do this on a shoestring budget of absolutely zero, I think is an amazing feat just right there. I mean, the fact is, like I said, I have no budget.
Shows real tenacity.
I have to say, though, I have really loved this last year. The addition of the Let's Talk show at the end of the month has been scary at first, but oh my goodness, it's been so much fun. I don't know. I think it's my favorite one now.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Okay, Let's Talk. We get it's a little bit more loose in the content, and we can have a more open discussion. We don't have to be tight to what we're doing. I mean, not that we don't like reporting on the news, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, not to jinx it, but yeah. It's like we've managed to fill an hour, knocking on wood.
Yeah.
So I'm still superstitious about a few things.
Well, in 400 shows, we've had some shows that were probably not the best shows we've ever done. For whatever reason. See, there goes the truck. There you go.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, everybody. I mean, I wasn't actually the truck. But.
No, I was going to say.
I'm a transformer. I forgot to tell you.
I thought you had gas.
I thought he was just I thought Steve was just really hungry, and it just like roar.
This is only an hour, right? Because I am starving.
Autobot or Decepticon?
Yeah. I would be an Autobot. I would be Rodimus Prime, the guy who
There you
replaced Optimus Prime that nobody liked.
Oh, yeah.
The movie
I always suspected
Strike
that of you,
Life.
Steve.
Like, why can't we just get the old guy back? This guy is, come on.
Yeah.
He's a car. It's a battery. You just jumpstart it.
Right.
Yeah, a car can't die. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Exactly.
What would a 400 show be without clips? We actually have some clips to show. They're not very long. I'm going to show one right now. This one here was from our episode No H-Bomb for You, North Korea. And this was with Atticus Blake, Dave You're Damned, Practical Magic, and myself. We were talking about how North Korea should not have access to nuclear weapons. They claimed they had an H-bomb, but everything fell short of the science because it just wasn't there. And Connie put a little note on here, and the reason why she particularly liked this was, even though it was one of our least viewed videos, we had Atticus on there with us.
He was being interviewed. It was a long show, and
Yeah.
it was very unfortunate because he's really a great guy.
Yeah. So let me show a little piece of that right now.
I think the question is whether, I mean, so different nations have different leaders, and different leaders can perhaps be mentally 3 years old, right?
Yeah.
Do they have more or less a right to defend themselves? I don't know, but that's where I'm conflicted about it.
Well, there was a school of thought. I heard this this morning, and I wish I could remember who the quote comes from. But it's basically saying that, why not give a nuclear missile to every country, and then that way nobody's going to use it because everybody doesn't want to get wiped out because they know they'll have the ability to wipe each other
but isn't
out.
that the same?
That's an actual paradox, isn't it?
Is that the same question as, like, if we arm everyone in the United States and
I
there
was
will
gonna
never
say.
be
Yeah.
any more gun violence?
Right.
I mean, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Right,
And
that's
it's
where I was-
ridiculous to expect that of 4 nations as well.
Right. Well, that's where I was going with that.
Is that cognitive dissonance of everyone having the right to have that technology?
Right. Well, that's where I was going with.
The answer is,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out my
Sure.
my thoughts, my conflict. you know?
Sure. Yeah, I was going for right there that it's a mutual destruction pact, basically. If I shoot, you're going to shoot, so let's not shoot.
That's the Cold War all over again.
Yeah, it's a Cold War. And instead of being one country, it would have been multiple countries. You can't trust every rogue state that's out there to have access to these nuclear weapons because some of them just don't care.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of like that's the precarious predicament that we're sort of stuck in permanently, because you're in the situation where even if everybody sort of unilaterally agrees, hey, this nuclear weapons thing is kind of bad. Maybe we should all just get rid of them. You'll never there'll always be the paranoia where you're like, well, what if we're getting rid of ours, but they're not getting rid of theirs?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should keep a few of ours just in case,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to do that. So you're never going to actually get rid of all of them.
Right. Oh, we got rid of all the missiles? Oh, well, shh, don't tell anybody. We got a couple in the storage. We got them in. I got them in the shed with the car.
Well, you can't uninvent them either.
Look, the UN inspectors are coming. Can I hide some nukes in your garage, please? Just for the weekend. I'll come and get them on Monday. I promise.
Quick, flush them down the toilet.
It's the cops! Quick, flush the nukes.
No, I think it's just the irrational ones they just don't care. It's like
Yeah.
it's like they don't care if the world burns. They're in charge now. That's the way they want to be. If they can't be in charge, screw everything.
Yeah. Sadly, that's true. We got people that are literally major ass clowns, and they don't care about anybody but themselves that are in office right now. Well, going to be in office.
Those offices, whether offices elected or whatever, they attract the kind of people who want power for the most part. Not everybody's altruistic and wanting to actually lead a country and have its best interests at heart.
That's why I say most elections are pointless. I don't want to vote for anyone who wants to be in office.
It's like when Will Rogers said, I would never want to join a club that would have me as a member.
I'm glad we don't have that philosophy here on this show, because I would be here by myself.
Well, yeah, we want Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but it's like an Adam Sandler movie.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is like, even the corrupt senator turned out to be a good guy at the end. He took responsibility for what he had done, and it was like, oh wow, so I guess everybody's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good. Actually, I remember that movie. That was with Jimmy Stewart. If I
Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty decent movie. I memean, considering the fact is he was doing a filibuster at the end there, and he's like trying to prove that the people out there actually wanted him to stay there. If I remember, that's the way it was going, and he was waiting. This is before the age of the internet and everything like that, so it was like he had to get all these signatures, or the people had to show up or some bullshit. I forget. It was a fucking long time ago since I saw it. So
sadly, Ted Cruz, he probably thought he was Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, God. Yeah, who's been feeding him bullshit for his whole life?
Yes.
Well, he does look like he has been wearing the diaper wrong. I'm just saying.
Maybe that's where Ted Cruz's whole life went wrong. Maybe when he was like 8 years old, he was watching Jimmy Stewart in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and he was like, "Mommy, is that me?" And his mom should have been like, "Hell no, kid. No, that's not you. You're awful. You're a little monster.
You're a monster." Of course,
you pulled legs off grasshoppers. Like.
By the way, your dad and myself were also monsters, so that's why.
Your dad killed Kennedy, by the way. Apparently, if you listen to the president-elect.
I still can't believe we got a Cheeto for president.
I'm sorry I jinxed it. I'm sorry I brought it up. I was the first one to bring it up. I apologize.
I was going to say, Ted Cruz now watches old reruns of The Munsters and sees Grandpa. Is that me, Mommy?
Actually, I heard something about this. Where I listen to a lot of other shows. The one thing is, though, even though Trump is as bad as he is, he's not as bad as Mike Pence.
That's a horrific thing.
This has got to be the worst
guarantee.
Yeah, this is the worst stopgap ever.
Yeah.
Mike Pence was his life insurance policy because he knows that Trump is going to take a shot at him. But with Pence as VP, he's safe.
Yeah.
And really, if the best thing you can say is, well, he's not as bad as Mike Pence, I mean...
that says something right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
And the mantra I kept repeating was, well, okay, Trump's only one person, and he's got to surround himself with a cabinet, and then there's still the Senate, and then there's still the judicial branch. And now I'm looking at it, I'm going, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Look at the people he's putting in his cabinet. Oh, shit. Look at who's going to be possibly reelected to the Senate. Oh, God damn it. He might have not just one, but 3 judicial people to replace. I don't know.
What was funny is everybody remembers Ben Carson. I mean, how can you not?
How can you forget him?
Right, exactly. Apparently,
the sleepy guy.
Yes, Mr. Grains in the pyramids. He actually said this. That he doesn't want any government office because Trump wanted to make him in charge of education. But he said he didn't want to disgrace the presidency. He didn't feel qualified to do anything in the political office because
But he felt qualified to be president.
Right, exactly. Yes. I'm like, what?
You ran for president.
You ran for president. How can you say this and say, yeah, I'm going to run for president? Now, for sure, if he decides to run for office again, you can always say, hey, you just said that you didn't want to be in charge of anything. So there's no reason why we should put you in charge of the head of office
of everything.
Of everything.
Yeah. Right.
Well, but see, now he can just follow the example of Trump and just pretend he never said it.
Yeah.
Even though you have him on tape saying it and you can play it back,
that wasn't me.
Times,
that wasn't me.
He'll just pretend he never said it.
That was an alternate dimension. That was somebody else.
Yeah.
And you know what the sad thing is? The sad thing is.
Which one?
We got a lot of sad things, but I mean the sad thing is the GOP is going to look at the Trump model and how he got elected, and they're going to repeat that model to get other GOP members into offices other places.
But just throw out the most horrific band of idiots he can, and it's the old adage: You throw enough shit against the wall, something's got to stick.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a serious question along that line. Do you really think that the entire GOP is on board with Trump, or are there? Because there were people who were really trying to step back from him.
I don't think
Even
any of them are
people
on board. I don't think any of them are really on board. They're just going along with it because, like, well, it's our guy and he made it in, so let's go with it.
Yeah, that's the old saying. Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line, and that's exactly what they're doing. They fall in line.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you'll notice how, the most of the complaints from Republicans kind of fizzled out after he won the election. It's like, oh, he won? Never mind. You're like, before the election, they were like, oh, this is terrible. This is going to destroy our party. This man, we can't make this man the standard bearer of our party. This is terrible. And then he wins the election, and they're like, well, I guess it won't be so bad.
Yeah.
I heard today that, was it Comey, whoever it was, who reintroduced Hillary Clinton's email thing. Because after the debates, she really kind of had it in a lockdown, and all of a sudden it just fell apart.
Well, they predicted that's what they were going to do. They were going to bring it up right before the election.
You want to hear something really funny? Speaking of the emails, Mike Pence has certain emails he doesn't want released either.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
And the fact is, he will only have those released only after 2040 or if he dies.
What?
Yeah. That's the only way that those emails will be released. If either he has to die or it has to be 2040. You have to wait 25 years before those emails would be released. And the fact is that he won't live another 25 years, most likely.
Well, unless somebody hacks them like happened to Hillary Clinton's emails. I mean, people forget, like, a lot of this email scandal that we've all been obsessed about is based on information that was obtained through illegal means.
Right.
Probably by hackers in other countries. It's like we sort of forget about that. Like, oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton's emails. Oh, my God, that's terrible. How do we even know about that? Oh,
Yeah. I look forward to seeing what was Pence is hiding. That's so important. I mean, he's had his
12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
I would be terrified.
Oh.
Yeah.
If someone offered to show me Mike Pence's emails, I'd be like, that's okay.
You
need someone with training to look at those. I'm not prepared to look at those.
Meanwhile, Weeder's like, look at my emails. I have some.
Most of his office, except for the times when he's like tried to put out these anti-gay shit and the anti-abortion shit, most of his time has been spent going, no, Mike, who's Mike Pence? Who are you talking about? I gotta go back to sleep. No one even fucking knew who the hell he was until he decided to step out on the national stage by doing that other crazy ass shit. But I don't want to stay on this one particular topic for too long. But we have another clip here. Connie, do you want to fill us in on what we're gonna see here?
Well, on March 19th, the show was called Global Thermonuclear Trump, and I would just rather you played the clip, but it cracked me up because I'm like, oh my gosh. When I found this one, I said, this is not only funny, and sad, but it's so topical because you kind of threw up a little bit in your mouth talking about, because this was just after the GOP. I think it was around the GOP.
Had nominated him, I believe.
It had nominated him. Yeah. And it was like, what are we watching here? The king of clowns has just been elected.
Yeah. Here's the clip. And speaking of global economies, if Trump becomes president, the Economist Intelligence Unit, which I didn't even know that was a thing, they warn that President Trump... Sorry, I had to get that out of my throat.
And a piece of falafel.
If Derumpf became president, he could be actually considered to be a global threat. That is quite an accomplishment for anybody.
Before it's like having the ultrasound and realizing that you're giving birth, yes, to the Antichrist.
That's not my baby.
What's that 666? Oh shit!
There's a 666 right in the forehead.
Little horns and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Hellboy.
The British Research Organization has warned that a Donald Trump's presidency could have dangerous impact on the world economy, increasing the potential for Islamic terror attacks and a trade war with Mexico and China. Now, speaking of the trade war there, he wants to abolish the North American free trade agreement. I mean, it's been a thing for about 10 years now or more. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's been around for quite a while now.
Longer than that.
Has it been longer than that? About 20 years?
Yeah, I would say it was a Clinton thing. It was during the Clinton administration.
Okay,
so
it's at least 20 years then.
Yeah.
And it's actually working out fairly well. And the thing is, they were working on, it's called TPP or TTP or something like that. That's like a national trade agreement across the globe. So this way it was like, okay, hey, you got a product and I got a product, and let's stop batching everybody each other over the head over, who's got what.
A stronger global economy is a stronger economy for everybody, and it should be building, better labors and unions and things. Not, it should be doing that, as I understand it. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing about when right wingers come out and attack trade agreements, and they talk about how, well, if NAFTA is taking American jobs, and actually like Packard, you just said it turns out NAFTA didn't really take that many American jobs.
No.
I mean, I remember Ross Perot, way back in 1992, Ross Perot was saying, they're going to take all the jobs down to Mexico if we pass NAFTA. And it didn't actually happen.
No.
NAFTA didn't actually impact our jobs all that much. And people are saying the same thing about TPP, and some of them are on the left and some of them are on the right. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about it. But a lot of the people on the right wing, they're like, this is going to take American jobs. And these are the same people who have fought tooth and nail for 100 years to destroy labor unions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Which are the best friend that working people in this country have, that allow people to keep jobs and to get better paying jobs and better benefits for their jobs and be able to afford to pay their bills and feed their families and all this other stuff. And the Republican Party has always been the number one enemy of organized labor. And how dare these people piss and moan about, oh, they're going to cost us jobs, when they have attacked one of the best friends that the working person has.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's really tragic that the GOP, the followers of the GOP, don't see that. I have arguments with people on Facebook and in real life saying, "Look, don't you understand that labor union? This is what the GOP is breaking down. Is breaking up labor unions, and they're your best friend. You unite, and it's a bargaining force of a large group of people, and
a lot of these people, they end up shipping all these jobs overseas anyway. I mean, they say, well, it's like buy American, but we're gonna ship everything across to India or China or wherever. So it's like they're nothing but fucking hypocrites at that point.
Well, the other thing too is, like, not only are they opposed to organized labor, a lot of them are openly opposed to the minimum wage.
Yes.
Including Trump. Trump said on the campaign that he thinks American wages are too high.
Which is funny, because he originally had said that, oh yeah, we need a higher minimum wage for people. And then because he got involved in bed with the Republican Party, and Republicans said, hey, that minimum wage shit, no. You have to go the other direction, not up, down. I gotta go down. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
That's the really frustrating part, because a lot of people are saying, people voted for Trump. They were willing to overlook the racism and the sexism and the anti-Muslim stuff and the anti-immigrant stuff. They were willing to overlook that because they cared about their jobs and their wages, and they thought that Trump was for the working class. And what campaign were you watching? Trump wasn't. He has never in any shape, way, or form been for the working class. Like, he thinks you're paid too much. Mm-hmm. He wants to take away your health care if you're a poor person and you got health care through the Affordable Care Act. Way is this man a friend to the working man at all? He isn't, and he never has been. But what he did was he convinced working people that there was some other group of people over there that were to blame for all their problems. And if you elect Trump, I'll take care of those people.
As much as we should have a nationalized health insurance, I think the way they they've gone about it is a little cockeyed. For me, I lived without insurance for a number of years, and the fact is that I'm now being forced to pay for an insurance that I can't barely use at all because where I'm at, it's not even offered anywhere. I go to the hospital for anything, and then I get hit with major deductible.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
the deductible. I have a fucking high deductible, and because I'm fucking poor as shit, I can't afford to buy the good insurance, the gold or bronze, silver, platinum, gold-plated, whatever, to get the lowest thing there, because that would be more than my fucking rent. And they have some that's like, oh, you don't have to pay zero. Well, then my deductible is like $15,000 or more. So that's crap insurance too.
ACA isn't even what Obama wanted. It's
right.
what the It's what the Republicans managed to, take apart and dismantle and put some kind of Frankenstein thing together.
Yeah.
As I understand it, but it's
no, you're right. And the thing is, though, if this had been implemented originally the way it was wanted to, and the fact is a lot of red states, and Wisconsin being one of them this year. Ugh. Fuck you, Wisconsin. Really. Just fuck you in the ass.
Now, lots of you didn't vote for him. I don't blame everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. The thing is, though, because of all the states that have Republican governors, they make sure that they gut the fuck out of it before it gets to us, so that makes it crap insurance. So people like me who can't afford insurance to begin with do this fucking complaint and say, hey, Obamacare, fuck off, because I'm getting paying for nothing. And they get exactly what they wanted, because people like me are complaining about it because I can't fucking use it because of them. And that pisses me off to no end. I mean, I really wish, but the thing is, the states that have like Democratic rule, and when they put this in place, they actually made the Affordable Health Care Act work for the people who are there. Republicans have nothing to do but to stand in the way of progress overall for the people that they're supposed to be governing. That's not how you govern. You don't say, hey, I'm going to shit on you while I'm stepping on your face while you're shining my shoes. And then you're going to give you this shiny little nickel and say, hey, you did a good job. Fuck off.
Gerb.
That's how Trump plans to do it.
I know.
That's how he's run his businesses.
Yeah.
Building his throne.
Yeah.
Contact us by email at ppappodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter as @PackardPokesat. Like us on Facebook.com/PackardPokesat. Call our Google Voice and leave a message at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and we will respond to it on the show. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us live at vonlive.tv/PackardPokesat. During the show, you can share your thoughts with us by calling 857-216-3200 using PIN number 35368 or on uberconference.com/PackardPokesat. For links to the stories, visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. You can help support the show by purchasing merchandise from cafepress.com/PackardPokesat or make a donation to the show at patreon.com/PackardPokesat. If you can't afford any money, why not share the show with your friends and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, and on YouTube. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
The Atheists,
the Bible,
and No Wardrobe, the podcast.
Wait a minute. No wardrobe? You mean we're going to be naked while we do this?
Well, seeing how I'm an atheist and I'm reading the Bible, and since clothes are flammable... Fire! 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 I thought it might be a good idea to take them all off first.
Naked or not, follow along as we read, analyze, and try to keep you from falling asleep as we go through this boring-ass book.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. Who knows? We may even be on YouTube someday.
Oh, can you imagine how tacky the residence in the White House is going to be?
No, the thing is, that's the thing is, though.
Oh, my God.
That's the thing is, he's not moving into the White House. He has refused to move into the White House. He's going to stay down on Park Avenue or wherever his Trump Tower is.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding
I
No,
bet he
there's
still
no law.
redecorates.
There is
For
no...
when he has to spend a weekend there or something.
Yeah, there is no law saying that he has to stay in the White House. There's absolutely no law. The fact is, though, and I think the reason why he's doing this, now, this is pure speculation on my part, because Trump is such a fucking racist bastard. Because Obama was in there. If it had been let's just say it had been a white president, he would have taken over and lived in there happily. But because a black person lived there, oh, fuck, it's trash. Fucking it's trash. Black people live there. Nope. There's going to be marijuana smell in the walls. Yep, that's it.
You know, I mean, I thought gentrification was a problem before, but this is ridiculous. I mean, they're kicking a black family out of the White House so that a white family can move in. This is disgusting. This is our executive mansion. Well, you know, I mean, speaking of that, though, I'm like, you know, Trump is one of these guys who, like, he's the most racist guy in the world, but he insists that he's not racist at all. So, like, how many times during his meeting with Obama do you think he just, you know, unthinkingly said something super racist and Obama just had to sit there and kind of, you know, grit his teeth? Maybe. Think like, this guy's going to have the nuclear codes in 2 months. I can't piss him off too much.
Yeah, and you know the funny thing is, there's a lot of pictures where Trump is sitting there like he's got this expression on the face, like you've ever gotten called into the office like when you were a kid and you're like, what the fuck did I just do? That's the look on his face, like, oh my God, what?
Are you talking about at work, or are you talking about
anywhere?
In school?
School, anywhere, or work. I was like, called you in the office, you're sitting there going, okay, what the fuck did I just do? And like, because he knows he has no clue what he's gonna be doing. He's like, what the hell's going on, man? I'm just like, I don't know how the fuck I got here.
Do I want prawns or do I want steak? Maybe I should have both.
You know what he did? All right, there's this thing called the press pool. Okay, and they have it's like a press bubble. They have to be with the president like all the time, and until he like turns in for the night. And there's it's like, so if something tragic happens, they are going to be the first to report it. Like somebody shoots him or he gets kicked in the balls or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the fact is that they would be there to report it. He told them that they were turn in for the night, and then he snuck out and went to a restaurant to have a steak dinner. And the only reason why we know that is because the fact is that another reporter had heard that he was there doing this, so she made a reservation to get in there, or she happened to see him there. It's like, oh my God, he's sitting here. There's no press pool. He's just there by himself eating a dinner. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? When you become the president, you give up that right of privacy to that degree. You can go to your bedroom and not be bothered and masturbate all you want to. No one's going to bother you, okay? But you want to go and buy a steak dinner and have a meal at a restaurant, you have to take a lot of fucking people with you, and especially the press pool.
I'm editing what I want to say.
I have no edit. I left my edit off.
Just...
How do you follow that, right?
So the White House isn't tacky enough for Trump.
Yeah, not tacky.
That's what I mean. I like, even if he doesn't spend most of his time there, I'm waiting for, at the end of his administration, assuming we're all still alive, I'm waiting for like the tell-all book from the White House decorator, where they're like, I almost quit the first week because he wanted me to do so much awful shit.
There has been people who came out just recently.
The jungle room.
The jungle room.
That's the Lincoln bedroom, sir.
Wow. There's actually somebody higher up. I think it was the CIA director or the the NSA director. He actually quit, and he's just the last 48 hours ago, and he turned in his resignation, is like, I am so happy I did this because I don't have to work for this guy, basically. I mean, I don't think he quite said it that way, but he's like, I am so happy to turn in my resignation right now.
Well, speaking of NSA, the Michael Flynn is one of the names that's on the board to be the next NSA I tried to find the interview that I heard on NPR this morning with a former co-employee when Michael Flynn was general, and they were saying, well, what was he like? And this gal was saying, well, he's kind of hyperkinetic. He's kind of all over the map. He's, he's not sexist because he kind of surrounded himself with women, which I thought, well, I guess you could take that two ways. But no, he just is sort of like Pigpen. And they said, so you feel confident that he'll be a good NSA? And she said, oh no, he has like a constant stream of consciousness thought, and it doesn't make sense. Which, for a security administrator, you kind of need somebody who's a little more connected than that.
We were going to talk about this show, but we've been talking about elect Trump a lot. But we haven't.
There's a medicine for that, for hairballs,
It's called a new election. Anyway,
that was an orange hairball that you spit up.
It was an orange hairball, right? We have one more clip now. This one is one of the most watched videos that we've had on the show here, and for no other reason. Now we talk about religion a lot on this show, and we don't get a whole lot of hate back from the religious community. Not like we would think. I mean, we do get some hate from them saying blah blah blah, whatever reasons they come up with. But this particular episode that we did, in this segment, I should say, it was meant to just be, a little goof. We weren't expecting anything of it. And holy shit, we tapped into something big. Connie, you want to set this one up for us?
Well, yeah, this segment was actually about a haunted house, and chosen for being our highest viewed and commented on video because people get very upset about imaginary friends.
Yeah, we're not talking about their god either.
No, it's all about a ghost house. It's about this ghost house that is supposedly this family moved in, and she was saying, oh my goodness, my kids are crawling on the wall. And so this ghost hunter guy, he bought the house, and they were filming their little documentary, and afterwards he just destroyed the house. He had it razed. But yeah, we had all these people saying, how dare you insult the idea that ghosts exist and whatnot. Crazy.
Yeah,
I think we need to make it a regular thing though, because you get lots of views.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the clip.
Yeah, apparently this house belonged to the Ammon family, the Ammons family.
Yep.
Yeah. What is it about that name? That's the worst name for a human being as a first and or last name. Ammon. Thought that joke would actually go over better. Hashtag Ammon Bundy, right?
Ammon Bundy.
Anyway, so just chalk this up as yet another unsolved mystery where the evidence somehow disappears before it can be properly tested.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh gosh, yeah.
To Connie's point, something was inside the house that had the ability to do things that I had never seen before. To which I say, yes, I agree. Men doing housework is extremely rare.
You've seen my house. That was the funniest part of that. I think that was a good grab on that one.
Yeah, Dana Talking Primate was our co-host on that show. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the fact is that the people, they just fucking lost their minds. They were like, well, the police officers saw this and they wouldn't lie. It's like, yeah, police officers are never known to lie, ever? Really? Never? And they say, well, all these kids, the kids saw it and all these people saw it. And it's like, yeah, have you heard of the Fatima incident where the people who claim, to 10,000 people who claimed that the sun danced around in the sky between 10 and 25,000 people, or 100,000
I thought
people.
you'd say 10.
It was between
an hour.
No, it was between 10 and 25,000 people or something like that. I forget the exact number, or it was 100,000, whatever it was. I'd have to look it up. But the fact is, there was no recorded disturbances outside of that group saying that the sun was like moving in space, because that's not a thing. You know,
like a bouncing ball.
like a bouncing ball, which is what they were
bonus.
claiming. The sun is like bouncing around. This is mass hallucination and suggestion. And just recently, I had an argument with a Jewish guy on. There's this app called Candid, and you can have a lot of interesting conversations on there. And I had a little discussion with him, and he said because 2 million people claim they heard the word of God, therefore God is real. It's the same thing. You're using a highly suggestible people for the same fucking purposes. You get these people to claim they agree, or they get pressured to agree. Then that doesn't mean anything. And because it's a personal experience, it means absolutely nothing. If we could record it, maybe, I don't know. I'd even question the recording, to be honest, because I would have to have proof that it wasn't tampered with in any way.
It's sort of like what we were talking about before we started recording about like where the burden of proof lies. If you make an incredibly unusual claim, you know, like you can't just find a whole bunch of other people that are willing to make the same claim. Like that's not proof.
Right.
You know, you like if 10,000 people say the sun was bouncing around in the sky like a basketball, you have 10,000 people claiming that they saw that, but that doesn't explain anything.
Right.
And it doesn't prove what, if anything, actually happened. You still need proof of, okay, was anybody else watching the sun? Did you see it do anything? No, you didn't. You didn't. None of our instruments picked anything up, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, and it's interesting how most of these incredible miracles happen during times, either periods in history or just times in modern era where it's like nobody had a camera, there weren't satellites watching the moon all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so you can just say, oh yeah, the moon was totally bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I was thinking all these miracles and these supernatural events happened all the time until cameras were invented.
Yeah.
And then they stopped.
And then Photoshop was invented, and then it went right back up again.
Well, I mean, the thing about like the haunted house and the ghost stuff that really bothers me, and it's very similar to my feelings about religion. Is, I mean, I'm at the point in my life, and I'm at the point in my my atheism and the way I regard religious folks is I couldn't care less about a person's private beliefs. The only thing that I care about is when people use those beliefs to try to impose things on other people without reason, or when other people, unscrupulous people, try to exploit those beliefs to take advantage of people. And that, I think, is the ghost thing that really bothers me, is that you find people who believe in ghosts and you can use their belief in ghosts to part them from their money.
Oh yeah.
And that to me is that's why I don't like psychics. I don't like, palm readers or like alternative healers. None of these people are any good to me because they're playing on people's superstition to get their money. They're con artists. And that's what the ghost racket is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely it is. And that's this guy claiming to make a documentary, but he destroys all the proof.
Yeah.
My biggest question was, what evidence is there to prove that if you destroyed the thing that these imaginary ghosts or spirits are, it's always been described as like, it's a spiritual door, but if we destroy the house, the door gets destroyed. Show me what evidence you have that proves that it actually happens. If it's a spiritual thing, how is it supposed to, destroying a building going to make it go away?
Like, what are you even talking about?
What, that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
I destroyed this house. The air was around it, so the air where this house was. Once I just pull the house out of there, the air won't go back in that area anymore. What are you talking about?
Yeah, explain how this works, please. Explain the physics of getting rid of a ghost.
Hey, that's what I'd like to know. What is it?
And the other thing is I mean, so many of these supposed hauntings, whether you're talking about like somebody's house or an abandoned hospital or a battlefield, because I live right next to Antietam Battlefield. So there's all kinds of like ghost hunting shit that goes on around here. And I'm just used to it now, so I usually don't think about it that much. But if you really stop and think about it, and this applies to the Antietam thing or other battlefield ghost tours, and it applies to people like who are saying like a house is haunted because somebody was murdered there,
Yeah.
or like, an old mental hospital is haunted because of all the people who suffered there. Like, don't you have any decency? You're talking about people who truly suffered and died in this place.
Yeah.
Like, really awful stuff happened here. Like, for real, people's lives were ruined. People died in horrible ways on that battlefield or in that house or in that old hospital. And here you are, like, pitching this ghost shit, this ridiculous fairy tale. Like, don't you have any class? Don't you have a conscience?
Yeah, I honestly, let's just say for shits and giggles, ghosts exist. Okay, let's just say for shits and giggles, ghosts exist, and let's just say I was murdered in this particular place. I wouldn't want to fucking stick around. I'm like, hey, I'm a ghost. I can go anywhere. I'm out of here. See ya. I'm gonna go sit my ass on the nude beach next to so I can go watch the ladies. Hey, that's pretty good. I wish I was still alive. I'd tap some of that shit. How
much does the afterlife suck that we all just hang around the places we died?
Yeah, that's what really sucks.
Isn't there anything better to do?
Oh, I'm here for millennia. Yeah. Why? Because this house still exists. Someone's got to destroy the house, and that can free me.
Yeah, look, don't ask me any questions. I don't know how it works either. Just
non-corporeal body can't do.
I wasn't given I lost my manual. I was trying to reach Beetlejuice, and I lost the manual for my afterlife.
Why am I still wearing the clothes I died in? Why do I even have clothes? This isn't
why do ghosts have clothes? Why do ghosts have clothes?
It's not a physical body.
I've seen people bring up these pictures of ghosts, and some of the ghosts have glasses on. Why do the ghosts have glasses on?
Explain that. Yeah, I just look better with glasses. I'm sorry, I just do.
And this is the best part here. This is the best part. Some people these researchers went over to another country, to Germany or whatever, and they talked to German ghosts who understood them in English.
So they took an ESL course while they were.
Apparently these ghosts, when you die, you learn all the languages, but except for the one that you were originally born with. Because when the German people apparently asked questions, the ghost didn't understand them for some reason.
Look, when you die, you get a free account to Duolingo, so you can learn any language you want,
except for the one that you actually were born with. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's strictly verboten.
What? Oh.
I don't know. That's some other language. I don't know what that is. That's just so fucking bizarre, and it's so beyond the pales of incredulity.
I think we really hit a basic nerve, and because again we're talking about dealing with spirits or invisible things, and it's. I don't know. When I left Christianity, I still had magical thinking. I was, I spent a lot of time thinking about New Age movement and about spiritism, and because I still thought, well, maybe there's still something like, a soul, and yeah, I don't know what could combat it except to be more diligent about teaching our kids about. Skepticism and rational thinking, logic. It's not perfect, but at least it would be a start because people would just be asking questions. They'd say, "Well, how do you know this?"
Right. The best part about atheism is the fact is that if you want to believe in ghosts, go ahead. No one's gonna stop you. It's like, no, you believe in ghosts. We're gonna take your atheist card away from you. No one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that. You can believe that space aliens ferried their happy asses through space and time to plop your sorry ass off on this rock in the backwater of nowhere. And I had a conversation with somebody just recently. They were telling me about their grandfather, how they believed that this planet was the people here were populated originally to be slaves for this alien race, and I was like, to what end? But he didn't have the answer because he wasn't his grandfather, obviously. But he's like, all right, if I had a slave, okay, let's just say I had a slave, I would have them doing shit. I wouldn't have them like milling around doing whatever the fuck they want. That would not be a slave thing to do. That's not a thing. I mean, if they were like, okay, well, let's just say they want them to mine the ore for their spaceships. Okay, but we're using that ore, the resources of this planet for ourselves. That doesn't say slave either. And we put people of our own species in charge of other people. That's not a slave thing either. I suppose that you have like a head slave. I don't know. I don't know.
The head slave.
The head slave. Oh. But I mean, it's just you can believe in anything you want to, except for a belief in a God, and that's the only thing about atheism. That's it. I've heard people say that, well, atheism, dog, is beliefs. You're stepping out of your atheism beliefs. Like, it has no beliefs. It has no dogma. What dogma are you talking about?
Nope, not with regards to gods.
Exactly.
That's a whole separate thing.
Exactly, it's a whole separate thing. And
but like Tom, you had a video and you said, yeah, it's just, I agree with you. I don't assert that I have proof that there's no God. I don't think there is proof of a God. It's, and if somebody was to present me with proof about a deity or some powerful being that we didn't know about, I would be happy to examine it.
Yeah. I mean, if you give me proof that God actually was real, or ghosts were real, we exist beyond our corporal bodies.
Right.
After death, we go on and do something else. Then, okay, well, show me the proof. Like working for the DMV,
I think that's the real reason why the guy tore down this haunted house. Is deep down they know there's no ghost, and they want to believe. And they really don't want to have any proof that what they believe is just bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like why Christians don't read the Bible. It's not because they don't think it's a beautiful book. It's because they know if they read it, they're going to read things that mess with what they think they believe.
Yeah,
that's an excellent point. Once you reach the things that trigger a question, you can either examine it or you can just shove it under the, that's just for the old. Yeah, that's just for the Jews. That's just ancient stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's afraid of ghosts, as like little kids are, and I'm a wonderful parent. I tease her all the time. Oh, what's that noise? Oh, it's a ghost. And then I say, let's go investigate and see, this ghost. Oh, it turns out the wind's blowing through this crack and making noise. It wasn't a ghost at all.
That's a good point too, because I mean, and obviously this is just a matter of perspective, but I mean, my perspective, my experience is I have never read or seen or heard about an explanation for a supposedly supernatural occurrence that wasn't way more interesting than if it had been a supernatural occurrence.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the thing is when they say, well, miracles happen all the time. Well, the miracle would definitely be something that would be outside the normal, which would be something that's rare. So if it happens all the time, it's not a miracle. It's like an everyday event. And if something is if a supernatural event happens all the time, then it's a natural event. It's not a supernatural event. And as far as we were talking about the God claim there, let's just say this thing came down out of outer space or whatever, said, hey, by the way, I'm your God. I would say, okay, well, and it did whatever magic tricks it did for the people back then, I guess. I don't know. And it said, okay, well, yeah, you fit what the narrative of the Bible is. Okay, I believe that you exist, not necessarily that you're the God of this particular book, but the fact that you exist, this creature exists, but I wouldn't worship the creature at all. I would be looking for the magic ring or the flaming sword to kill the motherfucker if it would follow the narrative. If it followed the narrative of the Bible, actually.
Yeah, be dialing up Satan. Like, hey, you need any help?
Yeah, Satan, I got Satan on call 1 here.
I just found out all that Old Testament stuff is true. If you need any help at all, I am on your side. Because that guy is a jerk. I read the book. Huge asshole.
Yeah, God is a fucking asshole by comparison. Satan's like, yeah, can I do
a bad rap?
Yeah, and the thing is though, which is really funny. Satan punishes the bad people. Doesn't that make him good by default?
Yeah, what is so wrong with what he does?
That means every judge that you put in office is Satan because they're punishing people. That's a good thing, right? So yeah.
Well, you know, people. One of my favorite, like paradoxes of Christianity, or really of most religions, is like ultimately the only source of information about God is God Himself.
Yeah.
Nobody ever seems to question, well, gee, maybe God's just blowing smoke up our asses. maybe He knows He's a jerk, but He's just telling us He's this great guy because He knows we have no way to fact check this.
Right. And
the Bible is the ultimate singles dating site.
Oh, yeah, it's like he
and
sounds
they're all
like
relatives.
a great guy from his OkCupid profile.
Yeah, and everybody that God hooks up are all related. I'm just saying. and the thing is with God, that's not even His name. Everybody just refers to Him God. Oh, this is God. That's God. Hey, it's God. Hey, God. No, that's not His name. That's His job title.
Yeah.
And if he was a manager, he should have been fired millennia ago. He's a fucking crappy manager.
Can we get a new God, please?
We need a new God because this one is obviously not doing his job.
This should not be a lifetime appointment.
No, absolutely not.
Did you get the memo? Yeah. That's the stapler. Not really, but yeah.
Well, this has been a fun hour.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, again for joining us. And Steve, where can they find your channel?
They can go to youtube.com/Steve Shives.
Yeah, you changed your URL a while back.
It's still Steve Likes to Curse. They can do that too. It's
okay.
Steve Likes the number 2 curse, but you can also just go to youtube.com/Steve Shives and it'll redirect you right to me.
All right, there you go.
You can see all the ridiculous horse shit that I do.
I'm riveted.
Bring Stuffy next time. We want to talk. We want to talk to Stuffy.
Out.
Stuffy will be the only one here next time. You'll invite me on, and it'll just be Stuffy.
Hey, bring Stuffy. We should definitely do that.
Yes.
Bring Stuffy on the show. So
making a note.
I'll start practicing my improv as Stuffy. He's gonna have to answer questions in real time. Shit.
Hey, we push the envelope on this show.
Edgy.
We're edgy as shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, anyway, a little housekeeping. There will be no show next week because it is the Thanksgiving weekend and people want to be elsewhere. And I'm going to have family here, and everybody else is going to have family wherever they are. But we'll be back in December, so we will see you next month. In the meantime, I will try to create some extra content myself, so you guys have plenty of content to follow up on and have listened to. It may not be super long, but it'll at least be some content for you. And through the month of December, we will be having our short shows only due to my limited time constraints. And except for the end of the month or the middle of the month or whatever, because we got Christmas coming up, so we will be taking off for that too. So probably the third week, again, we'll probably have another Okay Let's Talk at that time. What we'll talk about then, I don't know, because it's a month away. Maybe we'll talk about Josh Fierstein's underwear canceling Christmas. Who knows? He's complaining about Christmas one too many times, and his underwear just didn't hold up. Who knows? So
I want to see him do a Home Alone thing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would leave him home alone. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
With the door unlocked.
And with the door unlocked and a sign saying, "Break in here." The gun is in the basement. No, I wouldn't say that. The pop gun is in the basement.
The pop gun is in the basement.
It won't take much because you don't need a pop gun to blow his brains out.
Tar and feather.
The tar and the feather is in the next in the closet hall. Feathers in one room. The tar is in another room. Be sure to use it don't use it sparingly. Use all of it. Anyway. Was I mean enough to Josh Fart?
You're rather animated there.
Would they leave me home alone? I don't think so.
This has been Packard Pokes At with Okay, Let's Talk.
Number 400.
Number 400.
And that's a wrap.
Happy Turkey Day.
Happy Turkey Day to one and all.